Good afternoon. We're glad to welcome you to our Iwork at NCVPS Speaker Series today, and we have CFNC Representative Brittany Privott. And Ms. Privott, if you'll go ahead, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for the introduction. My name is Brittany Privott, and I am the regional representative for College Foundation of North Carolina, and I work out of the 910 region, so southeastern North Carolina. I currently live in Wilmington, so I will be doing this presentation from here, but at the very end, you'll have my email address, so if anybody has questions or concerns, definitely let me know. But we'll go ahead and get started. Today we're going to talk about, and let's just go back so you can see, we're going to talk about taking the next step on your degree and exploring community college options. We'll also end today by talking about how you can report any financial changes that you may have had for financial purposes through COVID, and how that's impacted things and things that you need to do to report loss of income or loss of employment. But first, I definitely want to talk about community colleges in the state of North Carolina. We do have a phenomenal community college system here in the state, actually one of the top community college systems in the nation. And we're really, really proud of that. There are over 58 community colleges in the state of North Carolina, and they're spread throughout the state to provide equity and allow students from all different regions to take advantage of the programs that they provide. And they provide education and training and workforce retention for communities. And they also allow students to obtain associate's degrees. An associate degree is a 2-year degree that some students will pursue. Some students will pursue an associate's degree at the community college level for anything ranging from nursing to computer science, business. There are also some specific 2-year degrees like cosmetology, gunsmithing, machinery, construction. I even have a brother that is looking into marine technology at one of the community colleges in North Carolina. There are some other programs that are smaller programs, but are a little more niche. For example, Montgomery County Community College has one of the top taxidermy programs in the nation. So if you're looking for a skill or a degree that may take less than 2 years, they're also available at community colleges as well. And we call those certificate programs. So just keep that in mind. We have some amazing opportunities at our community colleges in the state of North Carolina to pursue your associate's degree. Some students will also take advantage of the community college system and how it provides access to our 4-year degrees. So if you'd like to start at the community college and save some money or stay closer to home for a little while after high school, you are able to utilize the community college system to transfer to any of the 4-year schools in the state of North Carolina, whether it's a public institution in the UNC system or an independent institution, which would be our private institutions. The last thing students and families will utilize community college for, well, not the last thing, there's 2 more. One would be completing a degree that they started in the past, an associate's degree they started in the past, or continuing their education by taking a few classes to help with their current job. So for construction, there may be a new certification that's available. A lot of people will take advantage of those opportunities at community colleges. And the last things communities will use community colleges for would be life skills. So you may be able to take a sewing class at your local community college, or a woodsmithing class, something along those, or carpentry, excuse me, something that's not going to give you necessarily a degree or a certificate, but gives you a life skill. Before you get started in searching for opportunities at community colleges, it's extremely important to get to know about yourself and learn what skills you may possess or what personality traits you may have that are compatible with different jobs and careers. On CFNC.org, we have tons of different ways for you to learn about the skills that you have and how they can translate into a career. And you can do those on our site through your CFNC account. One I want to take time and talk about today is going to be the career key. But just know any of the surveys or quizzes that you do on our site, you can save your results to your My CFNC account to refer back to later on, or to tie into your career exploration. The career key measures how similar you are to 6 basic types of people. The higher you score, the more likely you are to be that type. For example, if your high score is on the artistic side of the scale, that means you are more likely an artistic personality type or an artistic interest area. You can see here what character traits artistic people have and kind of how they rank on the list of interest areas. You can use those results to look and see what jobs are available, what employment outlook looks like in North Carolina, your potential earning or average salary that you can have over time, and what work values you possess just based on taking that career key. So we really encourage students who are either coming out of high school or adult learners to explore the career key and see kind of how their personality and who they are as a person matches up to different careers. One of my favorite things available on CFNC to learn more about yourself and what jobs are out there would be the reality check program. The reality check quiz is done by the Department of Commerce in North Carolina, and it's an online tool designed to estimate the income necessary to support your desired lifestyle. So students will go through the reality check and talk about where they'd like to live in North Carolina. They'll answer questions about the lifestyle they'd like to lead, and they'll get results letting them know how much that lifestyle will cost them a month and yearly. And at the very end, they can check and see what jobs are available to them based on the lifestyle that they'd like to live. As you can see down here at the bottom left, this is an example of a list of jobs that are available. It'll show the annual growth. It'll also show annual openings in that job, the median annual wage, and what type of education you need to pursue that actual job. If you look over here, if you click the plus sign, it'll bring up this page right here, and that's going to show you the average salary for an entry level, a medium level, or experienced level worker. It'll also give you information about related occupations, videos about the job, and you can also add this to your My CFNC account so that you can look back and refer to it back in the future. Does anybody have any questions so far? All right. Once you learn about yourself and what jobs are out there, we can start looking at different colleges and programs that may provide the degree that you need to pursue the career that you want to go into. So if you are on your CFNC account, you'll click the Plan tab and for college, and there is an option to search majors and programs. I like to tell students there's 2 different ways to look for colleges. You can look for them based on programs, or you can look for them based on the college itself. So we're going to talk about exploring majors and programs. And as you can see, you can type in a specific major if you already know what you want to do in the search box, or you can browse different, I would say, clusters or areas of study to find out more. For example, I went here and screenshotted the page and I clicked health sciences. So it brings up a huge list of degrees that are in the health sciences field. If you look at the list, you'll be able to see the different symbols beside a lot of careers on this list. And if they have a full profile, you'll be able to link that degree to programs in the state of North Carolina. So I clicked dental hygiene because that is a pretty popular program right now. And you can search for that program based on the type of degree you would like to pursue. Community colleges offer associate's degrees, diplomas, and certificates. And so I clicked associate's degree just for the sake of this presentation. And as you can see down here, it gave me a list of different community colleges in the state of North Carolina that actually have that degree. So it's a great way to be able to go through and see what programs are out there and also see what schools are available. If you look here, the little pencil means that you can actually apply to that school through CFNC. So taking advantage of the CFNC website is really important through this because it is all linked together.
Brittany, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Like you use dental hygienist, I know in the past, they've only had like a cap for that particular associate's degree. Is that still true? Like, I think it used to be like 18, maybe 15 to 18 students.
It depends on the school. So some schools may have a cap, some schools may not. I would say nursing is in that boat as well. There are some schools that limit the amount of students going into those programs. And I'll tell you how to contact schools in just a second, but it's important if you know you want to go into a program like this, you see AB Tech in Asheville actually has the program, you can call them and find out more about if there's any caps or any additional requirements to get into that program as an applicant. Does that help?
It does. That's great information to know, because I have a friend that's a dental hygienist that went to AB Tech, and she was in a CAP program, and I didn't know if that had continued on, because I think it's just maybe resources and teachers, and I think it's a state requirement.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say. A lot of times it's due to resources and teachers. And then, yes, the state has requirements on how many people can be in a room with certain equipment and stuff like that for safety regulations. So a lot of these programs are hands-on programs, especially dental hygiene, where you're working with actual patients. The further that you go on into the program, there are some safety measures the state takes, and they usually will cap those programs. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. That was a great explanation.
All right. So there are some other ways to kind of learn what's out there and do some research before pursuing a specific degree, especially when it comes to community colleges. A lot of students going into community college majors are looking to, one, get a quicker degree than a four-year degree. Two, they want to save some money, and a lot of times our community colleges are more affordable or financially feasible to attend than our four-year institutions. And three, they would like to get a more hands-on job. And so the Department of Commerce has some amazing resources for North Carolinians to get a better understanding of what's out there. We talked about the reality check, but there are two other resources I'd like to cover today, just to make sure that everybody knows what's out there before they start applying to these schools. Star Jobs is pretty much the results that you get at the end of the reality check, but you can go straight to it from the Plan for a Career tab on CFNC. You'll click Know Before You Go, and you'll click Star Jobs. A comprehensive list of jobs in the state of North Carolina will pop up. You'll also be able to see a list of jobs with the top 30 jobs with projected annual growth in the next 10 years in the state of North Carolina. And one of the reasons I bring that up is if you look over here in this tab, you'll be able to see the required education for these jobs. And I want to show you really quick on CFNC what jobs are out there when it comes to projected growth. So give me just a second and I will show you. So we'll go to Plan for a Career, Know Before You Go. And right here is the top 30 occupations with strong career prospects in the state of North Carolina right now. As you can see, statisticians are #1.
Brittany, the
Yes,
web page isn't coming up.
It's
so,
not?
No.
Okay. Okay, I'm so sorry. Let me see.
Oh, no, that's fine. See if you can click on just that tab, and that might, your PowerPoint's still showing. Okay, there you go. That's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. There we go. Sorry. Thank you so much. So here are the top 30 occupations with strong career prospects in the state of North Carolina right now. And that's due to wages, growth rate, and number of openings. But what I wanted to show you guys, since we're talking about community colleges today, these are the top 30 occupations with highest projected 10-year growth in openings in North Carolina. If you look over here to the education side of things, most of them are not requiring a bachelor's degree. We have a lot who are looking for a high school diploma or an equivalent. We have some that are looking for some type of post-secondary degree. And some are not looking for a degree at all, but they're looking for some type of college. As you can see here, the wages are a little bit lower on these different careers, but it just really depends on where you live. But you can learn more about these two careers. So if you look here, like landscaping and groundskeeping, It'll give you more information about that job, and you can actually save this to your portfolio by clicking in portfolio. I just wanted to show you guys that really quick. We're going to go back to the presentation now. So that just gives you an example of STAR jobs and how to search those jobs on CFNC. The other program I like to show students and family is NC Tower. Students can look and see how their majors fare in the state of North Carolina, and they can search based on community college, UNC system schools, or independent institutions in the state of North Carolina. If you look here, you can type in what type of degree you'd like to get or what type of school you'd like to go to, and down here you'll see the highest paid degrees from that specific type of institution. You can even search based on specific institutions, so just keep that in mind. It's a great way to do some research and get a better understanding of your earning potential when it comes to what majors you're looking at. Finding your fit is extremely important when it comes to looking for colleges, and that includes community colleges. So if you are on cfnc.org, you'll click Plan and for College, and click the college search, and you'll see a comprehensive map of the state of North Carolina, and you can search all 111 colleges. But you can select specific personalized filters to find out what's going to be the best fit for you specifically after doing all of those fun surveys and quizzes on our site. You can make it so that you're only looking at community colleges, and you can search based on different criteria, like whether or not it's located in a rural or urban setting, distance from home, size of the institution, and even cost. Once you've figured out where you'd like to go or what colleges or community colleges are going to be the best fit for you, you can apply to all 58 community colleges in the state through our application hub. If you attended a North Carolina public high school, you can even send your high school transcript for free, all in the same process. As I said before, there are some students who will utilize our community college system to transfer to one of our four-year institutions in the state. There are a couple of rules of thumb when it comes to transferring that I want to cover today, and you'll find a comprehensive transfer planner on our site and learn more about the rules, regulations, and tips and tricks of the trade when it comes to transferring from a community college. A few things I want to make sure that students understand is that if you apply to a community college as a transfer student, it is important that you communicate with the community college and the school you'd like to transfer to ensure that they know that you plan on transferring, so that you take the classes that you need and not take classes that are not going to count towards your desired major. Most students will take their basic courses like English, math, a foreign language, a physical, and a social science at the community college level to fulfill credits for whatever major they plan on going into at North Carolina four-year institutions. It's extremely important, yet again, that you communicate to make sure that the classes that you're taking are going to transfer. If you see here, the Comprehensive Articulation Agreement is the agreement that four-year public schools, so schools in the UNC system, have with our North Carolina community colleges. This agreement says that if you take classes on the transfer route or the transfer pathway at North Carolina community colleges, your credits will transfer over to a four-year institution. That being said, there are some departments at four-year institutions that would like you to take specific courses at that institution. So for example, chemistry. If you take the first chemistry at Central Piedmont Community College, but you plan on transferring to UNC Charlotte, it's important that you communicate with UNC Charlotte that you plan on taking chemistry and letting them know what majors you're thinking about, because the chemistry department at UNC Charlotte may say, that's perfectly fine, we'll accept your chemistry credit, but we would like you to take our first level chemistry to ensure that you're on the same page with our students. So you may get a chemistry elective credit and not necessarily be equivalent to the class that you want to take at UNC Charlotte. That's just an example. Those schools are not necessarily specific. That's not the all to end all at those schools, but I want to make sure that you know that it's important to communicate, because they may transfer, but they may not transfer over the way that you'd like. So communication is key. And also making sure that you're doing well in your classes. Your classes will not transfer over if you make less than a C in any of those classes. So any classes that you get a C or above, they will transfer. Any classes that you get a D or an F in was a waste of time because it's not going to transfer over. So make sure that you are doing well in your classes and utilizing your resources. Also, if you don't know what school you plan on transferring to, or you don't know what degree you'd like to pursue, that's perfectly fine. But it's still important that you communicate with the community college you attend to make sure that they know that you plan on transferring so that they can help set you up for success in the future. A lot of community colleges will have college fairs or transfer college fairs where four-year institutions will actually come to campus to talk to you about any of your goals and help you find your best fit. So take advantage of those resources and attend any of those college fairs because you'll learn a lot and you never know, you might find your dream school. After you've applied to the community college, it's very important that you submit your FAFSA and then also your residency determination interview. The FAFSA is for financial aid. It is the free application for federal student aid, and it's going to qualify you for financial aid through the federal and state government. Once you complete your FAFSA, you'll be awarded a financial aid package from the community college, and on that package, you'll learn what grants, loans, and scholarships you're being offered. There'll also be information about how to accept this money. It is just really important that you only accept the money that you need when it comes to loans so that you don't fall into any unneeded or unwanted debt. The FAFSA opens in October each year, and students must complete the FAFSA each year to be eligible for financial aid, for federal and state financial aid, excuse me. I highly recommend completing the FAFSA during the month of October to ensure that you are qualifying for the most money that you're eligible for. To complete an application for a community college in the state of North Carolina, you must go through a residency determination interview through CFNC or through ncresidency.org. Students will go through this interview to ensure that they are an in-state student for tuition purposes. They'll be given a residency certification number that they will plug into their community college application. So just keep in mind that this is a process that you'll have to do before you are deemed an in-state student for tuition purposes. If you do not complete the RDS interview, you will be deemed an out-of-state student, and out-of-state students pay 40% more to go to our public community colleges and universities, so keep that in mind. And also, you can apply for scholarships throughout your college career, so please, please, please never stop applying for scholarships. You'll find on our pay tab at CFNC a comprehensive list of state grants and scholarships, and you can even search based on going to a community college. Once you've completed that process, and there are some students who have already completed this process, especially my seniors right now who have already applied to school, they know where they want to go, they may have already filled out their FAFSA and received their award letter, but have been impacted by COVID-19. It is, again, extremely important that you communicate with the schools you plan on attending. If you've already completed the FAFSA and there was a loss of income or employment due to COVID-19, please reach out to the financial aid office at your selected college and make them aware of any special circumstances. Be prepared to provide documentation related to the situation, including the financial impact of the change. The financial aid office can then complete what we call a change of circumstance form or change of circumstance judgment that they can submit to the FAFSA to ensure that numbers are adjusted so that you, again, get the money that you're eligible for. A lot of times this will result in an increase of financial aid, so keep all documentation with you so that you can submit that to colleges just in case. Now, I did have a lot of coffee this morning, so I feel like I went through that really fast and really quickly. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, or comments on anything I can elaborate on today?
No, the information was very well done. And it's also good to know that you have these additional resources to help our students, because it is sometimes overwhelming when you have different circumstances come along, as we have with COVID-19, and it certainly has made an impact on lots of things. So thank you for clarifying all that for us.
Of course, of course.
And I love the point you made about sometimes, especially the science-based courses, I think are particularly interesting, because if you're going to do those science majors, you have all those labs, and I think that's one of the reasons they want you to take those classes at the university, to make sure that you have that basis for what you need for those later courses in your major.
Definitely, definitely. I've heard from professors all the time that they're glad that students take the class at the community college, and they just want to make sure everybody at the four-year institution's on the same page. So that's a lot of times why they have those students retake those classes at the four-year institution. If there are no other questions or concerns, my contact information is here. If it'll let me transition to the next slide. There we go. This is our call center number. So if you have any CFNC specific questions, definitely feel free to reach out. Having a CFNC.org account is really important as a North Carolina student. No matter if you're in high school or an adult learner, it is a great gateway to North Carolina colleges, universities, and careers. So I highly recommend setting up an account. And this is my email address. So if anybody has any questions or concerns or has follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help in any way I can.
Well, thank you, Ms. Privott. This has been a wonderful presentation, and I know that our students will enjoy looking at this information and learning more about community colleges, because not everyone wants to spend 4 years, or mostly it's 5 or 6 now, even to get a bachelor's degree. So thank you for this additional information.
Of course, of course. I hope you have a wonderful day and good luck with everything.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
Thanks.